3 months ago, you were a virgin, and now you've been on 175 dates in about 4 months.
Yes, I have been on 175 dates in the last 4 months.
That is insane. That is awesome. What's like the most amount of dates you went on in 1 month?
45 dates in a whole month's time. I am 24. I'm a pilot, commercial airline pilot.
Before you joined the program, you were a virgin. What was life like? What were some of your challenges?
I grew up with Asperger's and Tourette's. So my childhood was a lot of altercations, a lot of physicality, and just fighting, and just a very traumatic childhood.
Fighting how? Like fighting with yourself, fighting with others?
Just like my parents. You know, my parents trying to raise me, and just somebody with Asperger's and Tourette's growing up is a very challenging time. And so they didn't really know how to raise me. You know, I was the first one born, so it's like a surprise for them. We had a lot of fighting, just a lot of arguing, and just a very dark time. Growing up, I was always the guy in the back of the classroom who would never raise his hand, couldn't even make eye contact, look at a girl, and I would never want to participate in any activities because I always had to tend to myself, was very independent as a person, and I could never do anything social.
So did you have any relationships before getting into this?
I had a blind date set up for me by a neighbor when I was 16, and that lasted like 6 months.
That's a long blind date.
That was a long blind date. I had ended it because she was doing things that I wasn't into and stuff like that, and it was a good learning lesson, you know, but I wouldn't count that as like an official relationship. Until that point, I had no social life, no friends, would hardly even look at people. I was head down, mission accomplished, like I was just focused on going from point A to point B, studying, very career oriented, and just head in the books. You know, I would be that guy who studied on a Friday night. You know, all my classmates and everybody I knew were out partying. You know, I didn't realize this until I was like a late teen, that this has had on me, and it's kind of caught up.
So what happened, like when you turned 18 or around that age, you started feeling like you were missing out?
Being a senior in high school, believe it or not, I had multiple friends at that point who got married their senior year, having kids and all that, and having one-night stands with girls, and it just made me realize like where I was, and I was comparing myself to them, and I felt bad about it. I'm like, this is not where I want to be. So it just made me take a step back and really kind of look at things overall.
So how did it feel in your early 20s, not being able to socialize? It sounds like you didn't have any dates except that blind date until you were, 24?
Yeah.
So you working with us?
100%. Before I started with TAM, I had tried to cold approach, and I would look at YouTube videos. You know, there was a point in my early 20s where I just wanted to get social with girls, and I tried to figure it out and just kind of did all I could on my own, but had no success, and I was just in a black hole. Very anxious around girls, even just making eye contact. Actually, when I moved to DC, I just woke up one morning and I just had a moment where it all caught up to me, and I said, I really don't want to live like this anymore. Like, this is painful. So then I found Matt here, looked at some of his videos, and I just really saw his technique. It wasn't pick-up-y, it wasn't formulated, but he actually had a genuine perspective on it. Your approach was just so natural, and I didn't want to change the way that I went about it, because then you're in your head, and I'm just like, I want to be myself, and I want to attract the women that I want to. I thought I'd give it a shot, and that's when I'm just going head first due to that moment, and it has been life-changing. I have never felt this good in my whole life. Like, each day that I wake up, I am better and better.
Does your family see a difference?
You know, my family does. They see that I'm accepting myself more for who I am and just really seeing the value of myself. And in fact, I just recently saw them like a month ago, and they looked at me and said, you carry yourself differently. Like, what did you do? They were happy about it. Really powerful for me to see that other people are recognizing it, especially my own parents. And the program, it's not just about approaching women, with that, but it's really transforming you into the man that you want to become.
How did that feel being a virgin at 24? I mean, it's not that old. It's not like you're like 34 or 44. There are still virgins at that age.
Growing up in high school and just being around a lot of friends who had lost their virginity early, and the types of people that I was around, that's all they talked about. And as I'm growing up and hearing that, they're like, this is amazing. It's a great experience. And I'm over here being the social not butterfly, just sitting in the corner. And it made me realize and think that I'm just so behind. And all my friends are, getting laid and losing their virginity in their early 20s. And as the years go by, I'm like, this is taking forever. Leading up to that point, using your awesome method, I actually lost my virginity from a cold approach. And it made the girl's day. And she ended up driving up 4 hours to go play mini golf. And we went to play mini golf, then we went bowling, and then after bowling, we had gone home, had like some wine and just watched a movie, and we just got physical and intimate and hot and heavy. And she had randomly asked me, and she said, what is one thing I should know about you that nobody else knows? And I'm thinking like, oh shit. Do I tell her I'm a virgin? Do I hide that? Do I try to get past it? And I'm like, no. Your method is all about radical honesty. First thought, best thought. That really turns them on. Because when I told her that I was a virgin, she just lit up. And this is on the first date. And she had to lead at that point. She started unbuttoning, and before you know it, I said, follow me. And I led her into the bedroom, and it was fantastic. She taught me a lot, and really just telling her that I was a virgin took off a lot of pressure. Had a fantastic night. Like the feeling I woke up that next morning, I was like, did this really happen? I was just a new man. And I walked around just with this air of confidence and I'm like, I can do this. Where you are in your past, whatever you struggled with, it doesn't mean you have to be like that. But I will say, I've put in a ton of work with this.
45 dates in a month and about 175 dates since you joined the program.
Just the impact, and with how important this is to me to want to transform into the man that I want to become and the life that I want with women. Reading your story about where you were when you were 25 is like a similar comparison in a way.
Yeah, at 24, I definitely hadn't been on 175 dates in my entire life at that point. No, definitely not.
And it's just crazy, like, when you put in the work, it's amazing where you can get. And you make it look so effortless, approaching and stuff, and it can't be that hard.
Yeah, it just becomes who you are. It's just part of your identity now. You see a cute girl, you just, I'm going to go talk to her. It's not like, I got to approach, and it's like this big deal anymore. It's just like, yeah, of course, I'm going to go talk to her. She's cute. It's a good opportunity, You just go.
You just go for it, and there's no hesitation. So anything that I do, it's either go big or go home. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to give it 100%, or I'm not going to even step foot in the water.
How many of those dates were from approaching them versus online dating?
Most of them are from cold approaching. 15-20% were from online, but all the other is cold approach. You have these small wins from approaching and dating, and those small wins keep you going.
Tell us, were there any specific insecurities or limiting beliefs or baggage or anything like that you had to let go of to get these kind of results?
I felt like, given my past, that I was incapable of doing it. I'm not the most muscular guy, I'm not Mike Tyson by any means, so I must not be able to get women. And just the social experience with women, I didn't have either. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know how to do any of this, so I must not be able to get them. Through your method and just being able to go through it, you can conquer that 100%. And it shattered my limiting beliefs because I've done it. Never let anything about you or your personality or looks or whatever, just aspects of you, never let that define anything that you want to do.
It's not so much those things that you're insecure about that are holding you back. It's the insecurity about those things that you have that's holding you back. How many women are you dating now?
I had 5 at one time. I'm trying to always better myself and always trying to be better on dates and just trying to always escalate things. And for me, with this last week, I uncovered the need that I had a huge need. I realized that I was using women as like a source of, temporary happiness.
They can't become your purpose.
Nope.
You still have to be on your purpose, on your path, and then women just complement that. They make your life better. They support that purpose, that path. Ideally, if you find a good woman, then, they're going to help you with your goal.
I read this quote one time, actually recently. It said, "Provide the garden of flowers, and the butterflies will come to it. Don't go chase the butterflies." So like,
Amen.
The flowers in the garden is your life, and they'll come to you. If you want to live the life that you could ever dream of, come join Matt's program here. He is thebomb.com. His method is one that is unlike any other out there. He is allowing you to be yourself, and you don't change yourself for somebody else. It's not pickup, it's not game. You're ultimately, with this program, you're going to get better with women no matter what. But the overarching goal is you're going to become the man that you want to be. And that's the main goal, is to just be the man that you have always wanted to be.
If you want to level up and you want to get results like Dylan here, then make sure to book a call with us. We'll put a link down in the description.